All you had to do was lower your blood pressure below 120 and you saved yourself from this. At the end of 2017, American Heart Association comes out with a guideline that concurs with what we advocated back in the early 1980s. Optimal blood pressure for most people, not everybody, because some people unfortunately need higher blood pressure to perfuse their kidneys and their brain, and that is unfortunate, but optimal under 120. Low blood pressure confers longevity. This is a major fact. It's now time to use existing technology to deal with aging, and our problem is delays. Delays cause needless deaths. You look at how long it took to eradicate smallpox in Great Britain. It took over 100 years and over 100,000 people needlessly dying before they eradicated smallpox. It's very incredible. And even last century, you had 300 million people around the world die of smallpox. When every one of us was alive, there were people dying of smallpox. Hard to believe, but that's how long it takes for technology to advance. And smallpox has a lot to do with aging, because aging right now, we think, can be controlled by virtue of using young human plasma. We don't know exactly what's in the young human plasma that's going to reverse aging, but we do know that it is working in the animal model, and we suspect in humans. Smallpox was eradicated before they ever knew viruses existed. Think about that. They didn't understand that viruses existed, and yet they realized the cowpox vaccine could prevent smallpox. We know a lot more about aging today than what Edward Jenner did about smallpox. A lot more today. And when it comes to age reversal, Wall Street Journal has been giving us some interesting coverage about how to extend the lifespan of your pet. These dogs, by the way, are living longer using a drug that you can use if you choose to. Within a couple months, we're going to publish findings about how you can use this drug to live longer. But again, talking about delays, took 400 years to eradicate scurvy, which is absolutely absurd. And how people died in 1900, very different than how they died in 1996. Over a very brief time period, they eradicated bacterial infection. People started living a lot longer, and the way people died changed radically. But look how long it took, even after penicillin was identified. Look how long it took to bring it forward into clinical practice. And again, we're in that same predicament right now. Aging may be reversible, and yet people are just letting it happen. They're literally dying when they may not need to. You look at the delay even after Alexander Fleming published his work on penicillin killing bacteria. It took 18 years, tens of millions of people needlessly dying, including a heck of a lot of children, which should concern a lot of people. So what we know today, young plasma rejuvenates old animals. That is substantiated in a peer-reviewed published literature actually going back to the 1950s, and by 1972 there was enough data there to absolutely say that if you circulate young blood into old animals, the old animals will grow biologically younger. And Nature did a review of this in 2015, which sparked our interest in accelerating human research in this area, that the systemic age reversal effect of young plasma was so apparent that people started saying, we need to start testing this in people. Well, if old animals are being made biologically younger, we need to start doing this in people. Good news is the leading institutions around the world are doing research in this area. Our concern is they're not going to do it fast enough to save everybody. Johnson & Johnson put $50 million into a study to see if young plasma can be a treatment for early stage Alzheimer's disease. We appreciate all that, but again, they're going through the FDA approval process, and that's often way too slow. This study came out last year. Fascinating. They took young teenage plasma, young human plasma from teenagers, and they put it into old mice, and the old mice, they were rejuvenated. And specifically, it rejuvenated their brains. It induced neurogenesis, the formation of new brain cells in old mice in response to young plasma from human teenagers. Huge advance. And these benefits were not just in the brains where they could see the brain cells growing, the animals were behaving younger. And when we do studies on human beings trying to reverse aging, we look first at clinical measures, which are blood pressure, lipids, glycemic indexes. But then we also look at the aging biomarkers, telomere length, as Tom was talking about, DNA methylation patterns, inflammatory factors, immune status. We all want that to improve, but wouldn't we like to behave younger, start behaving like a 25-year-old as opposed to the way we have to now? And it's being recognized. The media is picking up on the fact that young blood rejuvenates old animals. It's time to start doing this in people. And prestigious publications are all reviewing this, and they have pretty good scientific review boards, and they're saying, hey, why are we waiting to see if this works in people? We are losing 5,000 Americans every day, by the way, to a degenerative illness, and that is really unfortunate. We continue to see the data. Human age reversal. It's going to become an obligation of medicine at some point if we accelerate it. If we don't accelerate it, I hate to say it, a lot of people in this room won't be around to benefit. Now, an intervention that you might want to consider available right now is some technology that's being pioneered by a number of researchers that made the front cover of Time magazine this week. This week, front cover of Time magazine are talking about boosting NAD+ levels in older people in order to induce an age reversal benefit. And they're talking about something that is on the horizon, but it really isn't. It's available right now. It's available right now, and it was actually available in 2014. We wrote first about this NAD precursor that can boost NAD levels in the November 2014 issue of Life Extension magazine. Our supporters get on this, and they've been on it now for the last 4 years. We wrote another article about the benefits of boosting NAD. And by the way, this is through a dietary supplement you can buy from a number of different companies. You can go right on the internet and buy this anywhere. But I'm letting you know this is a technology you can benefit from right now. Great news. Again, this is recent stuff I'm talking about here. A number of the Silicon Valley tech giants put up $250 million, and a lot of that money is going to go to find a way to slow or reverse aging. So it's being recognized by the people in Silicon Valley who have achieved the impossible. They are viewing, I'm talking about these young tech multi-billionaires, they've used technology to accomplish the impossible, and they view human aging as just another technological challenge. And they are putting money up. The government's putting money up in order to spare Medicare from insolvency. The media is picking up on the fact that if you put enough resources into a problem, you might live for an indefinite period of time. This is what the media is reporting on, and we happen to know this is very accurate. George Church, Harvard University, he's my age. He believes within the next 5 to 10 years, CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology will enable us to reprogram our cells so we function in a youthful manner. He's talking about eradicating biological aging with his technology. He's raised over $100 million to do that, and we applaud that research. We just need to be around to take advantage of it. If we don't live long enough and they find a way to reverse aging, it doesn't do us much good. But people are putting money into it. The most famous wealthy people are recognizing aging as something that can be aggressively attacked, and they're putting their own money into it. They believe that aging will at some point become a relic of the past, just like polio, just like smallpox, just like most diseases that used to kill people. They're not around anymore. We're now confronting aging. And this came out recently. Mayo Clinic is working on a technology to produce billions of stem cells. We can't wait to see the results of their clinical research. If we just let aging take its course, we're going to wind up in this predicament. It's a horrible situation. So, do you want to be part of the control or experimental group? You got two choices. You got two choices. If you do nothing, you will suffer these degenerative conditions. We all do. But our objective, we aim to circumvent every single degenerative condition associated with aging. That is our purpose for the society, for the rescue of our elders. The website is here. All you need to do, register, and we will keep you informed on age reversal technologies, where you can go to get them, what they cost. And again, we don't sell them. We have no financial interest. We refuse to take any kind of financial interest because that creates bias. We don't want bias. We want truth because we're running out of time. Again, the biomedical renaissance. And you know, when the Renaissance started around 1350, 1400 AD, no one knew they were beginning a renaissance. They just didn't know. But we're in that position right now. And I'm proud that it's happening, and I'm proud that I had a little bit of a role in accelerating it. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, Bill, for a very dramatic presentation. I think you'll agree that was off the charts, really good.